It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. There's my sister in the intersection. Looks like she's trying to turn this direction. But the traffic is insane. Today's word, boys and girls, is emotional intelligence. Yesterday I had a situation where two people with no self-awareness, minimal self-awareness. Okay, they probably had self-awareness, but it was snide comment central and deep cuts, insulting each other's intelligence. And I remembered a long time ago, I had this amazing boss. She was amazing. And I've unfortunately always had a mouth that will say whatever I think. Over the years, it's gotten better. Some days, though, I get mad and I will go past my filters. I do have filters. I used to not have filters. It's tough adding them, but I do like to be a peacemaker. My Enneagram is a 9, in case you're wondering. So, long time ago, back in my sysadmin days, there was this boss that I worked for. She was amazing. So much to be learned from her because she just was an amazing boss. And I hope I've taken a lot of those lessons. I hope I didn't lose any, but I probably did, because I'm not as good as she was. She was awesome. But one day, I spouted off just a bunch of junk, and then she pulled me aside and she said, "Roy, you are a smart guy. You know this stuff, but you lack emotional intelligence." Being a smart guy that I was, I immediately went and looked up emotional intelligence. I'm like, what the heck is that? Because, well, I wasn't the smartest guy in the room, smartest person in the room. No, my boss was definitely the smart one there. And she told me about emotional intelligence. And so, I tried to learn about emotional intelligence. Google searches, of course. I'm the cheapest therapist I can get. And so I took that to heart because she was such a great boss. I never wanted to let her down. I didn't. And I think that was the day that I learned I needed some filters. I didn't get them right away, of course. And I still have my tendencies to mouth off and say things when my triggers are hit. And it's funny because I'm not a angry or mean person by default. At least I don't think I am. You know, sometimes we don't know ourselves, but no, and so it was, I had that conversation with somebody yesterday, and I told them the story. I said, "Look, man, I'm going to tell you." Somebody called me aside and said, "This is what you need to know. For all the smarts you got, if you don't have emotional intelligence, which is potentially up to 70% of the intelligence you need on a day in and day out basis, I need you to be self-aware. I need you to put yourself in the other person's shoes. I need you to understand. You have to have empathy. You need to understand what they are about and be aware of their mindset as best you can. We can't read people's minds, but we can get a vibe. You sure can get a vibe, and that is something you only pick up through empathy. And so I'm telling you, I was telling him, I said, dude, when you hit somebody with something right off the cuff that cuts into who they think they are, you put them on defensive mode. And when you put them in defensive mode, you're not going to get the results you're expecting. And you're going to get more back, more defensive statements back, maybe even hurtful statements if you are not careful. And so I'm hoping he took that to heart. I got to have that same conversation with another person. While they weren't as brutal, I just need them to status check themselves. Where are you at? How do you see the world? How do you think this other person sees the world? And say based off of that. And then I told him, I said, look, you can come back to me, and you can complain, you can say anything you want about people. I'll listen. I'll hear. I don't have to agree with you. Neither does this other person. But if you need to just rant to get it out of your system so you don't take it out on somebody else, then I'm here for you. So, yeah. It's going to be a good day. It is going to be a good day. Yeah. All right, let's get some stuff done, y'all.